Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Behind the Uni, brought to you by the University of Gloucestershire, the podcast that covers everything to do with student life with your hosts, Hisham and Lewis. Let's dive in.
Hi and welcome back to the Behind the Uni podcast, brought to you by the University of Gloucestershire. I'm your host today, Hisham. We're live at FCH at our Autumn Open Day. This is the third and last instalment of our live podcasts. We've got an incredible panel of students, as always, talking about everything student life at UOG, from money to working alongside your studies, their favourite spots in Cheltenham and Gloucester, and we'll just dive right in. Hi, welcome. Hello. We'll do the classic primary school thing where we go around and ask about your name, your course, and your year of study. So if you start with you.
Okay, my name's Alice. I'm a third year doing early childhood studies. What else did you want me to say?
Yeah.
Third year, I already said that.
Third year.
You weren't listening to me.
I'll listen to that.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a second year student doing photojournalism and documentary photography.
Cool. I'm Ross. I'm a third year and I'm studying history.
Fab. It's good to note that you two are based at FCH.
Yes.
You're at Hardwick,
Yeah.
which is kind of like the sister campus to FCH, which is just like down the road where a lot of our photography and fine art courses are based.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of seeing it. We're an open day, which is kind of resembles a lot of like the beginning of a university journey for so many people. So we'll start at the very beginning, which is always a very good place to start. We'll go down the line. Did you go to an open day?
I didn't know.
No, you didn't go.
Not at all. No, I just kind of, I just applied. I just went, this is what I want to do. I looked up the course online. I just went, that sounds great. And I just applied and got in. So yeah, no, I didn't come at all.
That's good. I didn't pay him to say that. That means that our website works. So that's, so that's very good. What about you?
I did a virtual open day because obviously it was COVID, but I did the taste day, I think it was, or something.
Yeah,
where
the whole day.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah, I went to an open day as well. So I just did the rounds of unis, came here and was like, wow, this is quite nice. So
This will do.
I like it. What was your
decent.
What was your first impression?
It was small, which some people would be like, oh, is that like meant to be like what you think of a uni? But I'd been to Portsmouth Uni beforehand, which is huge, and like you're walking around Portsmouth like what's going on, and then I came here and it was all like really close together, and I was like, wow, it's like home. It's like a little family.
I like that. It's really funny. This is the second episode that someone's mentioned the Portsmouth Open Day.
Really?
And yeah, on the first live podcast we had, which was at Park Campus, which you can go back and listen to, someone went to Portsmouth and they were like, they felt really overwhelmed. They felt like they would be like a little fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they came here, they felt like it was like
Yeah.
a little hug. It was nice.
Yeah, it's cozy. It's comfortable. Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people, here I go, knocking the mic again, like always, which I think a lot of people kind of have this misconception at universities that it's kind of like a one-size-fits-all, which is not. It's a very bespoke and different experience.
Very much.
So I kind of want to touch on that, and because you all study very different courses with different career perspectives, what was your aim of going to university? Did you always know that you want to go to uni?
Not in the slightest.
No?
No, because I'm a mature student.
Yes.
At 28 years old. So I've worked all my life. I never had any interest of coming to university at all. When I left sixth form at 18, I was already working. I was enjoying making money, and I was loving it. And I always had I've always had a massive interest in history, but I just never thought of actually having any kind of job with it.
Yeah.
And the one thing I have said multiple times, and I still stand by, is probably the good thing that came out of COVID was the fact that I had a chance to sit down
And
out
reflect.
of work and think about these things. And I thought about it for a few years, and when COVID kicked in, I just sat down and went, and I really looked into it, and I thought, I thought it's the right time to do it, and I'm glad I've come older. I've got life experience behind me, and I'm more confident in general. Instead of, don't get me wrong, everyone's going to be shy when they first turn to university and be timid, and it's a big world. But yeah, I felt a lot better coming in older, very much.
Yeah. How about you?
I never really wanted to go to uni. Like, I always make the joke and everyone's like, oh, but I always make the joke about like game of life. You always like, the whole go to do life or uni. And I was adamant. I was like, absolutely not. Uni is not for me. And then when I was like sat down with my parents, I was like, well, if I want to do photography, I feel like I need a little bit more in me. So that's when I was like, okay, maybe uni is like a chance.
A good option. Yeah.
But yeah, so then I didn't really know what I was looking for in a uni, kind of just wanted to have a feel for it and see. It was mostly, for me, the course that was like the important thing. Obviously, you want a nice place.
Yeah, because your
to
course
be
is quite,
around.
it's like specialised from the get.
Yeah, so there's 3 different photography courses, so it's very specific, but I kind of like that because then all the people that are in it are wanting to do like the actual course, whereas, you know, like in college or whatever, if you're like, let's do photography, and then you've got people that actually are like, oh well, this is just easy, so let's just do it, whereas the people in my course are very like orientated on that.
Yeah, you actually want to get better at what you're doing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you learn more about it, and you're using it while you're doing it. Yeah, very much.
I think that's definitely one of my favorite things, what you just said about universities, that you are surrounded by people that wholeheartedly care about the subject that you're studying. So like you can geek out together. Like I did journalism, and I remember this is a very core memory. We do open days in the journalism course where we kind of emulate what it's like to work in real life environments, and it was the day after the Golden Globes, and Oprah gave this really good speech. We all came in like 8 a.m. in the morning, and we were like, "Did you see Oprah's speech?" And we all just sat there like analyzing the speech. But like I wouldn't have had anyone to do that with A levels, and I think that's really, really cool. And like you saying, you come in with a kind of like years of experience.
Yeah,
is really, really important. But I also say that like university gives you good education, but then life experience and life skills. Alice, what about you? What was your university journey coming here like?
So I knew that I wanted to go to university. Like I just wasn't sure, like, what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. And then I had my sights set on one place and one place only, and Portsmouth. And I went there, and overwhelmed, too big. I was there like, oh my goodness, like what do I do now? This is where I had my sights set. This is where I wanted to go. So then my journey from then on was, I've got to actually like look at other universities now, and that was like a really big like scary thing, because once I've got my mind set on one thing, I'm like so stubborn. I don't want to move on to the next.
Well, it becomes like a comfort, because you like.
I literally had it like planned out in my Instagram bio, like it was going to be like
Love
Bristol / where I Portsmouth.
I'm gonna send Portsmouth Union invoice for how much airtime.
No, they're going to come and find me. I'm going to be like, sorry.
So actually, this is really interesting, because I don't think we've actually touched on that journey on the podcast before. The idea of actually researching for a university. Where did you start? Well, I guess this opens to all of you. Did you just go into Google and type the course name? Did you go to UCAS? Did you speak to someone that you know? Alice, how did you start your...
You know what, I can't even remember. It was so long ago now. But I think I must have just typed in, like, because I do early childhood studies, I just searched courses with children, or like youth work courses, or education courses, and I found this course, and that's what drew me to Gloucester. I was like, oh, like this seems interesting. But I think for me, because I knew I wanted to go to university, I'd always sort of been like listening to where other people have mentioned, and like go on website and be like, wow, like this could be where I want to go. Yeah, that's
great. Ross, what about you? Because obviously there is like I'm not trying to pick on your age, but there's like there's like a gap between when you like left, it's like sixth form or college, when you started.
10 years.
So like, how did you start researching to figure out where you want to go?
I looked into it about, I think I'd probably say about 3 years before I came to university, and I basically just put myself off it because I realised I did not know what I was doing. And I looked up history courses, and I looked at one, I believe it was Bristol, and I saw it and I thought, that's right down my route. I love what they're studying. That's great. And I sent it to my friends who had been to university. I said, give me a hand here. Like,
what do I do?
Yeah. And he said, that's postgraduate. That's a master's.
Ah.
And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I really don't. So I put it off for a while. And then, I kind of, again, COVID, I sat down, I really looked into it. And I because I'm from Gloucester anyway, I thought I'll have a quick look. And I just loved this campus here and what they were what the opportunities of the things that they had to study was perfect. You know, I think it's the same as in anything that you're interested in, whatever course that everyone does. You have like a certain thing that you're interested in about it, and then you look at what they do and you go, that's not what I want. You know, like I've always loved ancient histories and things like that.
Yeah.
This was all early moderns and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. And now I love it because it's something that I've never indulged in before, and it's opened up so much more. So yeah, I was like, do you know what? I'll go for it. And that's just, now I'm here.
Love that.
I'm here now.
What about you, Katie?
Well, I very much knew I wanted to do documentary photography. And that was like from like lockdown that really shaped like what type of photography I wanted to do. So I went on UCAS and I was searching, and you'd be surprised at how little photography, like documentary, like specific courses there is. And I think 4 of them came up, and I liked the idea of photojournalism as well. So I typed it into UCAS, and 4 came up, and 2 of them were in London, and I just thought, no, I can't.
Not
I was
for
like,
me.
I'm really sorry, but no. I love London, don't get me wrong, but,
Not
you know, a day trip.
Yeah.
Not like a let's live there. And then I was like to my mom, like, what do I do? Like, do I change it to photography? Because, like, it's not as specific.
Yeah, it's niche.
But then we was like, you know what, we'll have a look. So we read it, and I was like, wow. And then we did the virtual open day, and they were like talking about the course, and I was like, oh my god, like that sounds really fun and like really interesting. And then we looked more into it, and I was like, do you know what, let's just put it down, see what happens.
Take a plunge.
And then,
Yeah, which I think it's really interesting because there is such a wide range of experiences in how you started uni. Like, you kind of did it in like, let's just Google, see how it goes. You took some time with it and actually thinking about it. You had the COVID experience, which is I think is unique to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because when I started university in 2016, it was super traditional in how you went to university. Like our sixth form used to like give you days off to go to open days. Because back in 2016, back in the day, open days were on weekends. So now all open days are on the weekends, which makes it more accessible for people to go and parents to go. So we used to have to like put it in our diary months in advance and let our teachers know. They would sit down with us and all that stuff. So it was super traditional, and I was very prepped before I came to uni. And I want to know, like, if you actually used social media to kind of help you get tips on applications, on personal statements, on how to prep to uni, what to bring with you. Did you guys do any research?
No.
Love that.
I think again, because I was in the deep end on my own, 10 years out and everything. I just kind of panicked. And what I actually did was email my old sixth form head of sixth form.
Love that.
From 10 years ago, and I said, I want to go to university. Can you give me like a recommendation and help me out? And I messaged a few old friends that had been and said, like, I'm doing this. If I get stuck, can I talk to you? And they helped me through the lot.
That's so nice.
So it was a little bit more personal, which was quite nice.
I like that. What about you? Did you guys go on YouTube and watch vlogs?
Yeah, I was.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I was so. I remember my mum coming into my room and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm just watching like
Some
uni
random
vlogs."
Yeah, I'm watching
And
some
she was
random
like,
lady move into her room.
Yeah, and she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, because I was so nervous."
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, I don't know what to bring. Like, what if I pack too much or too little? And yeah, I just literally. Like my YouTube history was just like what to pack for uni, what do you need?
Move to uni with me.
Yeah, and I just constantly was just watching it. But yeah, that's kind of me.
Alice, did you watch YouTube vlogs?
Yeah, I did. I feel like that's.
They were really cozy. I feel like they
Yeah.
got really like. Maybe Ross, you missed out on something here because honestly,
You did. You missed out big time.
When I was the opportunity was coming out 10 years ago. I
Yeah.
just
Day
didn't,
my,
I didn't
it's like
think of it.
day of my life moving into uni. I'm like, wow. Thing is, like now it's all on TikTok, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
people moving into their rooms, like they're like, this is what you can bring. But yeah, it was YouTube for us. But I also like went to my personal tutor at college because she was like my only friend at college. She was like, Alice, let me give you some top tips here, because her daughter had recently gone to uni. She was like, this is what my daughter like took with her. I was like, oh,
that's quite
thanks,
nice.
Michelle. I know, love that
This is what
woman.
we love to do. Like we send out when like people accept their offers. So if you're watching this and you're got an application in, I don't know if you're watching it like when this comes out or maybe in a year's time, we send out like a packing list which like has like really good essentials and fun things to bring, like fancy dress for socials and like stuff like that, because people don't know. I've mentioned this in a podcast before. I was ferociously prepped for university. I watched all the vlogs. I actually, psychotic moment, I got in touch with the accommodation team and I was like, I would love to know how big the rooms are, like what the storage is like.
I have a lot of things.
I have a lot of things. And I went to IKEA at the time and interior design was like my thing. So I just wanted to come to uni prepped. And I think like now, like you say, TikTok has kind of opened it up to so many people. So kind of you've started your uni journey, applied, you've kind of prepped, you start uni, you're a local student. Did you stay where you were? Did you move closer to uni?
Yeah, I moved to Cheltenham.
You moved to Cheltenham?
It's over the pond, isn't it?
Yeah.
About 5 miles away. But yeah, I thought it's just a bit easier. I wanted the experience as well. I thought, screw it, I'll go to halls the first year. I was the only person there for 4 weeks, an entire building to myself for 4 weeks. So that was fun. It was weird. Yeah, I just kind of was like, I'm ready to get involved. And I was like, I'm on my own. But yeah, it was, I wanted the whole experience and to just kind of be here a bit closer. I was just on this campus here.
Yeah.
So I could have fallen out of bed and got onto campus. It was just better than trying to travel every day. And it was great. It
was the best. I was also living on campus and sometimes I was late and I had no excuses. And that's also okay for anyone. As long as you show up, that's fine.
The worst thing for me was, because I was in COVID year, I was on Teams and I still wanted to show up. So I had no excuse. I don't recommend it. That's not me promoting staying in bed. But
what I would love to know, obviously, like once you move to the area, like I always say, uni is kind of like a double-sided coin. There's lectures and outside of lecture life. So we'll talk about lifestyle and like what you do outside of lectures. But what was kind of your first impressions of like induction week, first lecture? Katie, we'll start with you.
I was so nervous because everyone was like, oh, your class size can like differ. Like it could be like really big or really small. And I went in and I think there was like 15 of us. And I was like, oh, okay, this is like quite small, but it was quite nice. And like none of us, like we were all just kind of there like
do we talk?
Okay. And then I don't think we did any like weird icebreakers, which I really liked because I just really don't like icebreakers sometimes.
Some courses don't do anything and some courses really go hard on icebreakers.
Yeah. I was so glad they didn't though, because I'm so awkward and I'm just like, yeah, hi, I'm Katie. And then I'm like, okay, move on. Like, it's worse when they say interesting facts. And I'm like, I have nothing
interesting.
No.
You just go blank, don't you? And I don't know what to say. I have 2 feet.
Yeah, and I'm like, I've got interesting facts, but I don't know if they're interesting to like other people. Yeah. So, but I was lucky because in my halls, there was a girl who was on the same course as me, so we kind of like walked together. So I knew one person, and then we met like another girl. And we were kind of like stuck as a little trio. And we were just like, okay, we'll just stay in our little bubble, and then kind of.
You're my friend now.
You're my friend. I think that's how it happened. Like everyone.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree? Like
Very
you kind of get you go in there, you sit down. Everyone starts to fill the room from the back.
Yeah.
And it works their way forward.
Back first. Yeah.
I specifically remember in our like induction, it was the whole school. They made like the whole school thing, and the way that the auditorium was set is that we didn't know where the front or where the back is. So me and one of the friends I made it in halls, we went and just sat at one of the rows, and we were like, this looks at the back. Then the lecturer came in, it was just right in front of us, and we were like,
oh, no.
we look back and everyone was like behind us, and we were like, God, we look such keen beans. But yeah, it kind of takes time for you to develop it. And I would love to know kind of, you mentioned that like small classroom sizes, like support is something that we are very proud of at EOG, but we also like to kind of push you forward. What's your relationships like with your lecturers? Do you feel like they're pushing you to be better historians, better teachers, better photographers? Do you feel they're supported by them? Yeah. I would love to hear your experiences with your lecturers.
I love my lecturers. My lecturers are like my friends at uni, which people are always like, oh, that's really nice, isn't it? But I had like one of my lecturers, I had a PT meeting with her, and she was like, you know, Alice, you are like my friend as well. I was there like, stop it.
I must break the jargon. PT is personal tutor.
Personal tutor, yeah. And yeah, they're just so lovely. I'm in such a tiny class. Like, we're such a small early childhood studies class. I think there's like 15 of us, maybe.
Which I think is such a good, like...
It's a perfect number.
It's such a good number.
I'd much rather have that than
big groups.
like hundreds of people.
Because I feel like the lecturers know you personally. There is rapport between you. You're their friend. I love that.
I was just talking about this in the when I did. I've just been up in the class with my history lecturer, the head of my course, Christian. He asked me to come up and talk to some of them, and I said that's one of the best things of it is, I think my years, the last 3, have been about 20, 25 people in my course. And then obviously when you pick your own modules, that can divide down,
Breaks down
to about 10 a class. And it's great. I would much rather have that than sit in a lecture hall, don't get me wrong, which would probably still be great, of 100 people, but having a room of 10, 15 people in, it's a lot more personal. You feel like you get more involved and you can actually speak and you can debate between each other and talk about the course while you're in it. And it's great. It's really is good.
Yeah, definitely. Katie, you study a very like technically heavy subject. So like you have, because you, if you don't know this, for our School of Arts and School of Creative Industries, our students use a lot of the university equipment for your photo shoots, for your video shoots. So you have your kind of lecturers that teach you the stuff, and then support staff that help you with equipment and all that stuff. What's your relationship like with both parties?
I really like my lecturers because they're not how you are like with a teacher chair where it's like, okay, everything's black and white. They're very much like, they will like sit in the lectures and be like, right, if you want to be a photographer, they're like hard on you, but in like a good way. It's like, if you want to be that and that's where you want to go, you need to do the work. Like, they're kind of like, we're here to just be here. Like, you're the one that's like, if you come to my lectures, then I will teach you and we'll get down to like the hardcore stuff. But if you're not, then that's not their problem. But they're so supportive because they just push you. Like, they won't be like, oh yeah, your photos are great. They're like, right, okay, yeah, your photos are good, but what can we do to like, they'll really push you. And then the photo stores, it's like such a good team because not only, like, if you don't know a piece of equipment and you want it, they will be happy to talk to you about it. So I hired out like a flash gun and I was like, I actually don't know how to use it. I know I put it on my camera and kind of like shoot, but then when I was doing it, I was like, oh, okay, my photos are turning out really bad. And I went up to them and I was like really nervous. I was like, oh, I know I should use it, but like, I don't know how to, can you help me? And they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. And we literally had like a 20-minute chat and they were like talking to me like that's how good. The best that
is good.
So I mean, obviously if you do hire out a flash gun, do have own batteries though, because the first time I hired out flash gun, I put it on my camera and I was like, it's not working, oh my god, I've broke it, I'm gonna like have to pay for it. And then I looked and I was like, there's no batteries in it. And then I went back and I was like, oh, there's no batteries. And she's like, yeah, you have to. I was like,
Technology 101.
Great, yeah. I was like, I thought it would come with it. So yeah, I had to, but now I've got like, I carry around a pack with me. In every bag, I just have batteries because I'm just in case.
That's the life experience I always talk about, is when you do courses, and I think this applies to every single university course around every single university. You pick up a textbook and you read the words and a teacher tells you what happens and what you need to do. But it's all those little tiny things that you learn at university, of like the mistakes that you've made. If you're out on a shoot and your exposure's wrong, you know that next time I'm not going to do that. So it's like things like that. And I'm sure that you'll still learn and adapt. And I'm a firm believer that people never stop learning, even when they're in their 50s and their 40s, 60s.
Every day's a school day.
Exactly. And it's really nice to like hear that you kind of are able to go and just speak to them. You mentioned that you were really nervous at the beginning of university. Where do you think you are now? Do you feel like you've gained more confidence?
Yeah, definitely. I've like had a few wobbles here and there.
We all have a little mentee now and then. It's fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really confident. I think it's definitely to do with like the people I have around me, like, because my like experience with like school wasn't like very good in friends wise, but here it's like it's been quite good. Like there is the wobble, but like the teachers and like the lecturers and just there's so much support as well that it's like made me feel like a lot more comfortable with like where I am, like the library or like just anything really. It's just like I feel like it's a bit more warm, and like that's why it's made me a bit more
Oh,
confident.
definitely. Yeah, I could totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, what about you guys? Do you feel like you've, I don't want to say improved, but grown, that's the word, grown since your first day at university?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Like in all aspects, like not even like, educational or anything, just as a person and like doing different things, having different experiences, and yeah, it makes you feel, which doesn't happen often, but more mature.
I like that.
But you know, yeah, it does. Yeah, very much.
I think, yeah, you gain a new new sense of independence when you're a uni student, because you do have to juggle a lot. And like, something like I'm right now, I work full time, but I'm doing a master's on the side. And it's like, I now understand the duality of being a student and working, because you have to juggle so much.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about your life outside of lectures. And Alice, I know you're part of the dance society.
Yes.
I would love to know your journey about joining the dance society, what you guys kind of get up to, because we have an incredible students' union who have so many societies, so many clubs. Like I think we have a Nintendo society. There's a DJ society. There's
anything
everything
for everyone.
And I think like they're very open as well. So if you actually come to uni and you're like, oh, I would love to set up a crocheting society, you can set it up and start it yourself, and I will join you. I love crocheting. But yeah, what was your journey like in joining dance?
So I've only actually joined this year. So I didn't join first year because of COVID, and then last year I was like too nervous. I was like, wow, so many new people. So I've only just joined, and I'm just a society member. So I don't do proper like competitive stuff. But I love it, and it's so lovely. Like I knew one or two of them beforehand, but just meeting like a whole new group of girls, like new people that I can call my friends, I'm like, oh, this is lush. But yeah, we go. So every Wednesday we have socials where we go to revs, and we just do lots of games. How deep do you want me to go into socials?
I think people we've definitely spoken about
What can
socials
I
before.
say?
We've spoken about socials before in a very open matter, so people know about it. I just would love to know, like, because you just mentioned something that not many people know, is that you can be a society member. So you don't have to be competitive. I used to be in the dance society. I cannot dance, but I love the social aspect of it. I used to love going to like varsity and helping and all that stuff. So do you still go to like the dance sessions and like?
So I've been to like one or two fun classes. They started off with like a really like hard routine. I was there doing like pirouettes. I was like, I haven't danced for like 7 years. What are you making me do? I woke up the next day like, oh, my legs. But yeah, so you can just join as a society member, which is what I am. And you pretty much have exactly the same experience as competitive members. You just don't do the hard work.
Yeah. but when we do win varsity, you can still celebrate, which is the best.
Yeah.
And Ross, you kind of like from the clubs aspect to the societies.
On the nerd side of things, yeah.
You're in the historian society.
Very much.
How's
And I'm
that
not going to
going?
lie, we don't do a lot of history.
That's just fine.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's there hasn't been a history society for quite a few years, especially with COVID and different things. Sometimes they collapse. And we just decided this year to start it up again. And the girls who run it, they're fantastic at it. Every Monday they've created some kind of theme or social where we all dress up or look like idiots, and
I love that.
yeah, we all have good fun. And just some people who are interested in history but haven't taken it as a subject, they can get involved, and we all talk and we have a laugh, and yeah, it's good fun.
Again, you guys are bringing up so many good points. If you're coming to university and you're studying something that's specific to your course, that doesn't mean that you should have to go to the society that is like bespoke to your course.
No.
Like I was doing journalism and I was getting down with dance, and I was friends with like American footballers, and I then started my own magazine society in second year, and we had people from all different courses who just want to write about their topic.
Yeah.
So when you start university, whether you come to UOG or go to another one, my one piece of advice is go to your welcome fair, speak to the current students
Very
about
much.
what they what they do, because I can guarantee you'll find your tribe and your people.
It is overwhelming.
Oh, it is
You come in
overwhelming.
and you've got all these tables like join us. And
You're
stuff.
like,
They just really want you to be involved. Like, it is great.
DJ like doing
The
D&B, and they're like, wow, like walking around.
I do love it. I do love it when Welcome Fair. It's really funny because every society obviously tries to recruit students, and they all like try to show off what they do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the funniest thing, I won't expose the student, but one of the rugby, two of the rugby students were just doing like a little relay with the rugby ball, and it was just not going well. They kept dropping the ball. And I was like, guys, maybe just
We're really good at this, I
closer. It's really funny. And Katie, I would love to know. Obviously, you live in Cheltenham?
Yeah.
What's your favourite spot to go out for like a coffee or like just want to leave the house? Where do you go?
I'd probably say Costa because I am a huge coffee lover. So I'd say Costa definitely. Although I am getting swayed towards Starbucks. I feel like I'm kind of cheating on Costa.
There's
That's a massive
I
cheat.
know.
That's a
I mean-
Betrayal.
I don't know if I've spoken about it before in the podcast. I am not a fan of Costa. I'll just say that.
Oh, really?
No, it's burnt coffee. I'm sorry, Costa. I'm just not the fan. But you should go to a lot of the. We've got amazing independent shops. You should try those. I will recommend like the Scandinavian Coffee Pods, the Coffee Dispensary on Clarence Street. They're really, really nice.
Okay.
What about you, Alice? Where's like
Coffee,
your
coffee dispensary.
coffee dispensary?
Yeah. It's
They're
lovely.
it's really just nice. It's the good vibe in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
I'll try
Moon Underwater.
Moon Under the Water.
Which
I
is-
love my coffee.
You can Google what Moon Under the Water is.
Don't. Put you on.
Ross, what about you? What's your favourite go-to spot? Like hanging out with friends? Or pubs, or anything?
Yeah, like a good pub. I worked in a pub alongside university last year, so I liked going there.
Which
playing pool? The old Restoration. It's
Yes.
down by like where lounges stuff down the bottom
Yeah,
of
yeah.
High Street. It was a great little pub. Oldest pub in Cheltenham. Just thought I'd throw some history.
Wow, the general knowledge.
Yeah, 1660 something I think it was. Anyway, moving on.
Can you tell he's a history student?
But yeah, like Paul, they had live music on every week, and it was always just great to hang out with. But yeah, that lounge was always great. Play some pool and things. But yeah, and coffee.
Yeah, coffee's a good place.
Frog and Fiddle.
Frog and
Frog
Fiddle.
and Fiddle's good.
Frog and Fiddle is
Frog and
my
Fiddle's great.
favourite place. I spend that embarrassingly a lot of time in my life in Frog and Fiddle. I'm going there tonight.
Nice.
But yeah, like Cheltenham and Gloucester has a lot of pubs, coffee shops. Like you're bound to find something. And if you're more interested in like student life outside of lectures, you can head to our website, glos.ac.uk, to kind of read more about the town and where you can go and have fun outside of lectures. Before we wrap up, we like to do this little thing where we embarrass our panelists and we ask you a couple of questions. The first one, I would love to know, as students, we are stereotyped for not being very good cooks, and we're stereotyped for not being very good at taking care of our health. So what's like the most studenty meal that you've had? And by studenty meal, I mean like really not a meal, something that you kind of like thrown together. End of the month, you've got no money, you just want to eat. What's the most studenty meal that you've had?
The saddest one I've had is I actually took this off a friend. I'm not going to mention his name. But I think the saddest meal I had, I lived over a week on brown sauce sandwiches.
Bread and brown sauce.
Just bread and brown sauce.
You know what? I feel like I've done ketchup and bread. So
It was bad. It was
Okay.
quite depressing.
That we've mentioned this every single episode. We've had stale bread and water.
Oh my God.
Someone had
Stale bread?
stale bread.
Wow.
Like they want to eat bread, so that to hydrate the stale bread, they just dipped it in water and ate that.
Oh,
so,
good
soup.
So,
Yeah.
good soup. So at least you had some sort of flavour.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true.
Katie, what about you? What's your most studenty meal?
Oh, I don't know because I feel like I'm quite good with my
I'm a
like.
really-
Oh, here she goes.
good
Yeah,
cook, I won't lie.
I'm quite
Oh, I
good
just
with
put me
like.
down and out, guys. You just cook well.
I'm quite good with like money as well. So I'm usually. I mean, I think there's been moments where I'm just like, I really can't be bothered to cook, but then I'll just have like beans and sausages is my go-to meal.
On
like,
toast.
Not even that. I will
What?
just eat beans and sausages. Like it's
Really?
yeah. And honestly, you should try it. It's so nice, even without the toast.
It just
I
sounds
feel
like there should be more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. Like I'm one of those people, and everyone's like, I'm so weird, but I go through stages of liking bread.
Oh,
So I have
tiger
to
bread.
be-
I go through a tiger bread obsession.
Yeah,
Oh.
so I have to be in the mood for bread. So yeah, beans and sausages
I like
is
that.
just yeah.
But wait, do you buy? Because though I need to clarify this because. Do you buy the beans and sausages separately, or do you buy the tin?
Like,
Oh
it's-
no, it's the
Oh,
tin one.
Oh,
the tin
yeah.
tin. Oh, Katie.
That's even.
Them all together.
I say that surely you have that on toast.
Well, you can have it on toast, but sometimes it's so
You just
nice.
CBA.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh no, I warm it up. No,
Okay.
no, not cold.
beans.
Oh no, no, I will
Amazing.
eat.
Okay.
You
What
see,
about you, Alice?
I'm really good with food. Like if I shove in like some oven chips every now and again. Like that's like a lazy meal. The worst one I've heard, my friend was before she went out to social.
Can I just say, I love it when podcast guests are like, I'm a good cook, but I will expose my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's my favourite thing.
The worst one was she was just about to go out to social and she hadn't had anything to eat, so she needed to line the stomach.
Yeah.
She didn't have time, so she just ate like a raw pizza.
What?
Like she just
Uncooked?
sliced it, had a uncooked pizza.
Did
Just,
it have meat on it?
no, just a margarita.
A margarita.
But just a uncooked margarita pizza.
Was it frozen?
No, it was frozen. She put it in the fridge to defrost, so it was like kind of just looped.
She could have cooked it.
She didn't have time. She was like, I don't have time. She just had like raw pizza.
That's actually gone down. That might beat the bread, like the bread and water.
Yeah.
'Cause she could have definitely
She
cooked
could
it.
have. If she's put it in the
Maybe
fridge
she was
to
just
defrost.
lazy, but-
It takes like 10, 12 minutes to cook a pizza. Okay, fair enough. Well, Alice's friend, read the instructions on a pizza. It's not that long. Well, that's good. We've definitely had worse ones. So I do think that yours is kind of...
It's a bit manky.
I always say it's down there, but I think I'm going to start ranking it like up there as the worst meals. And then what I like to kind of talk about, obviously everyone comes to university with an aim of bettering themselves, bettering their career. So if we start with Ross and work the way down, what's like your dream job, your aspiration post-university?
Oh, my dream job is to be a university lecturer. That's my dream. I would love to be a history university lecturer, but that means PhD, which is a long time away. So I'm still want to go for it. I'm still definitely going to go for it. But
Let me give you a little kind of like piece of advice. You can do a PG CAP, which is a course that helps you kind of like become a lecturer. So
Really?
you can go and research into it. Yeah.
see, this is why I'm here.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here. I did not know that. That's amazing.
I bet you glad you said yes to come into
Yeah,
this.
definitely. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Speak to
that.
your lecturers. I'm sure they'll provide you more information.
Fantastic. Was it a PG cap?
Yeah. I think that's correct.
Keep that in.
Double check.
You just told me something random.
No, but it's a thing. We have people graduating next week from it, so I know it's
Oh,
happening.
fantastic. Oh,
But
that's
yeah.
really good. Yeah. But yes, before that, it's going to be just teaching. I want to, as long as I'm teaching, I'm happy.
Love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
Probably a documentary photographer. I'm definitely one of those. I mean, it's very cliche, but want to capture people's like moments. So for me, like I always say, with my nana, I don't have a lot of photos with her, and like now I can't get the opportunity. But I'd really like even just taking photos on holiday of my parents and like my sister. It's just like they
Candid.
have that, they have that moment, and I just really want to just do that for people. Like I just want to be that, like even if it's just they show like someone on their phone, because I feel like selfies, they're good, but like my mom is always like, when everyone is somewhere, she's like, take a selfie, let's record the moment. I'm like, no, I'll take a photo of you. Yeah, so it's
Like,
more.
I study photography.
Listen to me. Yeah.
But then it's like, obviously, like when we was little, like my mom would never be in the photos because she'd be the one taking the photo of like me and my sister, my dad. And so I'm like, I really want to be, because a lot of the time it's the moms that will take the photo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I wish I could, like, I just want to be that one photo of that's family photography and just
Yeah.
kind of like that.
That's nice.
So that's kind of,
Love that.
hopefully I can do that anyway.
Definitely. Put yourself out there. You'll learn a lot. Alice, what about you?
Well, my dream job would be working on a Disney cruise.
Oh,
Imagine
wow.
that, being like a Disney princess
I love that.
on a Disney cruise.
Really was not expecting that at all. Love that.
But in terms of like being realistic, so I want
You
to.
can always aim high.
Yeah. Maybe. But
Do you get seasick?
no, I don't get seasick.
Okay,
I've
that's
never
good.
been on a cruise.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, that's the issue. I clearly don't like big places, so I might get overwhelmed. But with the degree that I'm doing, I want to go on to do like social work, kind of working with children and like helping them, maybe go into youth work, something like that. Just giving children like a better stance in life is what I want to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this has been such a lovely chat, and it's like one of the greatest delights of my job is that I get to sit down with students and talk about them, their life, their experiences. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And coming to FCH. To everyone, if you're visiting our open day, I hope you had a great day. And if you're interested about coming to the University of Gloucestershire or finding out more about the uni, head to glos.ac.uk. We've got open days coming up in spring, and if you ever need any form of information, you can just email us via the website. And if you want to find out more about life around Cheltenham and Gloucester and the university, follow us on Instagram at Uni of Glos and TikTok. You'll see me doing a TikTok dance or something. I don't do TikTok dances, but we have a lot of great content on there for you to kind of find out more about the university. And as always, if you're watching on YouTube or listening on wherever you listen to your podcast, we hope you enjoyed this episode. There'll be plenty more coming in the future. Thank you so much for listening. And this is, again, back to the primary school thing. I like to end how I started. So we like to look into the main camera, which I think is that one.
Okay.
And we do a CBBS thing where we like to say goodbye and wave at the camera.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I'll count you on 3 and we'll say bye, okay?
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.